Right, hi again. Welcome to another pickup video. This is to cover this weekend, which is the 19th and 20th of May, and also the 12th and 13th of May. Apologies for no video last week. I've just been so busy, and as you can probably tell from the expression on my face, quite tired at the moment. It's been a very long week, and having sort of spent about 5 or 6 hours out of the house today on a Sunday in this sort of heat walking around, it's not the greatest thing to do. And to be honest with you, I'm feeling quite tired this evening. Anyway, important thing to do is try and whiz through these pickups for you over the last couple of weekends. Some interesting stuff. We'll see how we get on with this. I'll start with the 360 because we've had a few problems with my own high standards of collecting. I try and just trying to make sure that I keep a better eye on what I'm doing, because I'm buying a lot of stuff at the moment and I'm not checking the cases as perhaps as I should be doing now. I'm not very happy with the 360 cases. I think they're pretty naff, to be fair. I don't know why they're so, I'm looking at them now, sort of flimsy and cheap compared to the original Xbox cases. Even the PlayStation 2 and the Wii case is much better. I always seem to find these are in much poorer condition, but because of my blindness at the moment of trying to buy games that I see, I'm not sort of actually holding out for a better copy. And as you know, if I'm only spending 50p or a quid a time on a game, it doesn't sort of make sense as to why I should buy things which are broken. I'll show you as we go on. I'll try and whiz through these as quickly as possible. FIFA 15, that cost me a grand sum of 20 pence, and the good thing is I know where I can get lots more of these for 20p to replace broken cases. As you can see here, this one just won't clip at the top, completely gone. So that's got a replacement. That's Resident Evil 5, that was £1. This is probably the best case, a lot. Homefront, that was 50p. A game I mistakenly called Project Dark Zero a couple of weeks ago. It's actually Perfect Dark Zero, but again, as you can see, I bought that with a great big hole in the bottom of it, I presume to give it some circulation. I'm not quite sure what that is, but anyway, there we go. That was 50p. See, 50p, I pay better attention to it. What's wrong with this? Oh yeah, another broken bit down the bottom here. This was Batman Game of the Year edition. This is the Arkham City one. It's got both discs inside, no manual. The case also on the inside is cracked. How do you manage to crack the inside of a case? That takes some doing. And another one which doesn't open, doesn't shut at the top, and a tatty manual, Street Fighter 4 on the Xbox 360. Again, that was £1. I mean, some good games there, don't get me wrong. I mean, Street Fighter, I hate Street Fighter with a passion. I never liked Street Fighter 2. I never sort of went back to playing Street Fighter after it, but didn't stop me buying Street Fighter 2 loose when I saw it for £2 at a car boot sale a few years back, and it won't stop me buying Street Fighter 4 if it's £1. And then Batman, Arkham City, and Perfect Dark Zero, and Resident Evil, some, you know, decent games there, and they're not cost me a great deal. PlayStation 3, got Guitar Hero 5, which is, I've got Legends of Rock, I've got World Tour, and I've got the Aerosmith version. I've got this on Wii, but I haven't got it on PlayStation 3. Some people quite like the track listing for that one. I'm not so keen on it, I must be honest with you. That was £1. So was this one. This is Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. I have the original Uncharted game, and I'm pretty sure at some point we've had Uncharted 2, but we don't have that anymore, and we must have traded it in for something. Mrs. Retro Bear is convinced we still have it, and I'm absolutely adamant because I can see it's not there. It should be there, but it's not. I think we've traded it in for something else. And then finally, Need for Speed Shift, which was the grand sum of 50p. Yeah, not bad, that one. I've got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which I quite enjoy playing. Got quite a few Need for Speed games now. This was a good nick condition. Captain Scarlet. We'll manage to see if it's a good game or not, because it's made by Blast Games, who were notoriously making rubbish games on fairly strange licenses like Babe and Charlotte's Web and Thunderbirds. That looks like it's actually never been played. That cost me £1. Total Overdose, which is also known as Chili Con Carnage. I got this for 50p from the local market. No manual with it, but the disc is in pretty good condition. It's got one of those sort of like duff covers I like, which attracts me to sort of buying games. I should buy games based on what people think of them and reviews rather than sort of what the cover looks like. but when you're spending 50p a time, what do you expect? Some Wii stuff here. There's an interesting one for you. You won't see this too often. I mean too often as in you won't find me doing this too often. This is Mario Party 8, a loose disc which I picked up for $3.99 in cash converters. Now, I said I don't usually buy loose discs. Cartridges, yes, or I would have done years ago before the market has become flooded with, you know, knockoffs and, I mean, not so good copies of. That one, yeah, I thought, well, I can take up onto $3.99, and if I can find a box for nothing, or I can buy I've done before a Wii Fit or something like that, which is I can get for 30p close by to me, and get the manual and you know, a cover. Should be able to put that together for about £5 or £6, which is nice. So it's a decent value game. I'm not going to walk past games for $3.99 if they're ones that have got a high value attached to them, and that one at the moment, I think if you tried to sell it, or it would cost you £7 to £10 on the high street. If you went to buy it from the high street, well, you can still buy it from the high street, it would cost you about 12 to £15. So $3.99 is a bit of a win for me. I'm happy with that one. Toy Story Mania for a 99p. There are no glasses in this one though. It does need some 3D glasses. I've got plenty of cardboard ones, which I should be able to get something that works with it. This is from one TV film license to another. This is Igor. I've never actually ever heard of the film of this game, or the game of the film, whatever you want to talk it. Either way, all I know is that's always notoriously cheap. That cost me £1, which is a lot more expensive than it's been before, but it's another one for the collection. This one's probably a little bit obscure, certainly for me anyway, because I don't, not some of my collection. This is looks to me like it's probably a Australian version, maybe even it's probably Australian. I think that's how they do their things over there. A version of Dragon Ball Z Budokan Tenkaichi 3 means absolutely nothing to me. I'm probably never actually going to play it. There's no manual in it, but it was in a local charity shop for £1, and I thought, well, it's worth a go. I don't know. It may be good. I'm not entirely sure. Nice to pick it up though, and I see something like that. I nearly walked out there and thought, well, do I leave it now? I'll go and pick it up and see what it's like anyway. I know there are 3 versions on the Wii. There's one which is quite common, there's that one which sort of sits in the middle, and there's one that's slightly more expensive. So it's a good value again. If you had the PAL version, you wouldn't be able to buy it for much less than sort of £6, something like that. So paying £1 for it's not so bad. Loose game. You know, I tell you about loose games I don't usually do. Here's another one for you. It must have been a mad weekend last weekend. It was the 12th to the 13th of May. It was a bit of a mad weekend. This is the Dukes of Hazzard 2 Daisy Dukes it out on the PlayStation 1. Dukes of Hazzard, of course, one of my top 3 favourite programmes when I was a child, after Scooby-Doo and Doctor Who. Very happy with that one. And finally, some original Xbox stuff. Blood Rain, which cost me 50p. It's a bit of a tatty case, but everything inside's okay. Blood Wake, which cost me 75p, and kudos to CEX staff in one of the stores local to me. They actually made a comment on the receipt to say that the disc was scratched. It's come up quite nice after cleaning it, but the care and attention that they showed there was fantastic, and that's exactly what you expect. Don't take anything less. Gladiator Sword of Vengeance, that was £1. Judge Dredd versus Death, that was £1. I like the embossed cover on, that's quite nice. And then I picked this up the weekend as well, which was black, on the Xbox. That was £1 as well. So lots of pound coins put into that, probably around about £20 spent, and probably something in the region of nearly 20 games for the same price. So that's about what I do. You know, I sort of pay £1. You're not paying more than £1 a game. You're paying more than £1 a game for a reason. Something like that one too. I'm just counting the 3, 6, 9, 11, 12. Yeah, 20 games for £20. It's not bad. Not bad at all. There we go. Quite happy with that. Also, I did manage to pick up, going to a car boot today, a Wii Rock Band 3 instrument set. Big long pause here because it's not quite the bargain it turned out to be. 2 guitars, 1 drum kit and the keyboard, but they're all missing the dongles, and I should have realised because I have the Guitar Hero 3 for the PlayStation 3, which needs a dongle plugged into the USB port to be able to connect to the guitar, which is wireless. So that's a bit of a blow. Also, one of the guitars, and again I didn't check. This is again not checking through things properly. This is a common sense tip for anybody: make sure what you're buying something like that, check it out properly. I don't know what happened to me, because before I saw this, I was looking at a DS, and I wasn't going to buy the DS because it was one of the old style ones anyway. And the first thing the bloke says, "Oh yeah, it all works." Now, we've all been in a situation where we've been into a car boot or something like that, and it's too good to be true. And occasionally, you do sort of find. I'm just looking at my Sega Saturn down here, which I paid £1 for. And that was just the unit on its own, no wires with it, nothing. The bloke said, "I'm selling it for £1," and I said, okay. It's like the Xbox I bought end of last year for £3 for spares or repairs, which works perfectly fine. The disc tray sticks occasionally, but if you just tap it, it opens. So that sort of thing. And I'm just annoying myself, I didn't check this kit out properly, that the dongles are missing for it, and the dongles apparently are quite notoriously difficult to get hold of. In fact, they are actually more expensive than, in some cases, the kit itself. And the kit's completely useless. I can't see if it works. One of the guitars, I was about to say, one of the whammy bar has broken. Looks like it's broken on it. The drums are okay. There were batteries in the drum set, and one of those are corroded, but it's all right, in good condition. And the keyboard looks in pretty good nick, but I can't test them, so I don't know if it works or not. I paid £7 for the lot. She had actually reduced the price down from 10 to 7, and my other half sort of pointed it out, and I thought, well, yeah, go on then, we'll take it back with us. But a little annoyed with myself more than anything. It worked. They certainly work be fine. I've got, and also actually the thing as well with the keyboard is the games have been included the keyboard, and the game wasn't included, which isn't a problem because I've got Rock Band 3 for the Wii anyway, and you can use that with the Guitar Hero Aerosmith controller. The box is sitting behind me. So I can still play the game, it's not a problem, but it'd be nice to be able to put the drums in and the keyboard. The keyboard's got the MIDI cables which you can attach to something else. That's great, but in terms of what I bought it for, it's completely useless at the moment. So let's see if we can find one from there. So yeah, but I was disappointed with the car boot. We spent a good 2.5 hours. We didn't go till late, and this is one of my bugbears as well. I don't like sort of going to a car boot first thing in the morning, and sort of being classed with the vultures who try and get there. And we used to do it years ago. We used to sell. My other half used to have her own sort of business from home, and when we first started out, the idea was to generate a bit of cash, and we did car boot sales to start with. And we were there, you know, sort of up at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning and 5:30 on a Sunday, going out and doing these things. And we didn't like getting there and finding people were practically ripping your boot of the car open to get your stuff. And I'm not one of these people, and even when I was collecting games at the height of my collecting 7 or 8 years ago, I wasn't going to be the sort of person who was going to go there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I would tend to sort of turn up, if it was started at sort of 6, I'd turn up at sort of 8, between 8 and 9. And I've still spent 2-3 hours walking around, and I would still pick stuff up. Today, there wasn't an awful lot. A lot of people trading, which is nice to see, because you get to see some interesting stuff. And there was a bloke who was selling 4 Saturn games he'd got, normal person, and he was asking £6 each for them, which I think was a fair price. He did sort of say I could have stayed at home and sold them on eBay, but I thought I'd bring them here and sell them instead. 2 of the games he got, I'd already got anyway. The 2 that I may have bought, one was Daytona, but it wasn't the second edition. There was the first one, which when it came out was largely disappointing because of the frame rate and the clipping on it. The second one was much better, and there was also a game called Sega Touring Cars, which I hadn't heard of before, and he got the actual hard cases, not the cardboard one, which is very hard to get hold of. But the thing is, it's right at the start of the boot, so you walk around thinking, well, am I going to sort of fork out £12 before I even started walking around? I might get to the end and miss something else. Turns out that I didn't actually miss anything at all, so a bit disappointing today. But I think the one that we went to today is more towards people who, there's a good mix of traders and people who sell their own stuff, and I should certainly think twice now about walking past stuff and going, ooh, I could do with a Rock Band set, but I haven't got one of those. And actually finding out that I've been completely blinded by the fact it's there and it's already been reduced by £3. We live and learn. So we might try one which is a bit closer to home next weekend, because it's bank holiday as well. He's like to run a couple over here, and that may give me the opportunity to spend a bit more time, and those ones are more likely to be populated by general public sellers rather than traders. Not that I have anything against traders, it's just that I love to see what the sort of stuff they're selling, but I won't buy from them because I'll be paying the market price. And you know, as with anybody else, we all love a bargain. We all try and get the best we can do, so that we're not spending so much. So on the valuation, we're actually spending something there. You know, I talk about stuff I bought before, and I can, you know, get a markup of, you know, £2, £3, £4 on each game or something like that, and I'm winning. But I don't collect to make profit. I collect because I'm a collector. I'm not one of these people who will buy stuff. If you're a collector, you buy stuff, and you also buy stuff to sell online or sell at car boot sales. And I've seen plenty of guys doing the videos and things like that, and which I have the utmost respect for, because you guys will leave stuff behind that you've already got. You will not sort of take it and then try and sell it again. You'll leave it for somebody else to pick up, and usually that's the sort of person I am. I'm the sort of person who will come in and pick those games up, so I'm forever grateful for people who do that. But I'm not in it to sort of build a collection up for selling. You know, I build a collection up because I like games, and it's a cheap form of insulation. Anyway, on that note, it's time to finish. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the pickups, and hopefully I'll have something a bit more exciting next time. Maybe I'll have some news on the dongles. Maybe I won't. I've had a look already, and I'm not particularly hopeful, but we shall see. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you do enjoy this, do hit the subscribe button, the like button, put a comment. It'd be nice if somebody left a comment. I'd love to hear what you got to say about these sort of things. It'd be great to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.